Mike Phillips, Autogeek.com, and I have with me today in the garage Tunch Goren, who is the founder of 3D Products. Tunch, how you doing?
Great, thank you, Mike. How are you?
And what we want to do is we want to share just how many products that you guys actually make and all the different markets that you cover. Most of you recognize the 3D brand. You attribute it to a quality product, but you might not know just how many products that you guys actually make. Everything from A to Z, inside and out, top to bottom for car detailing, basically, right?
Right, that's right, but it's not entirely right because we also make for other industries like music industry. We make one of the largest music industry in the world, make their guitar polishes and cleaners and stuff like that.
Well, see, that's something I didn't know, so I'm learning something today too.
Yeah.
And especially there's a lot of different types of guitars, and some guitars are very expensive, but one thing they all have in common is they got a great looking finish, and somebody has to make that polish. I didn't know you guys did that.
Oh yeah, we do that, yes.
Okay, so what are some other industries that we may not know about that you cater to?
We do private label for other companies too, but our main focus is on the cars, but also as I mentioned to you before, we also make some of raw materials ourselves.
Okay. To
be used in the car care industry.
Okay, so, and we talk about car care, that covers a lot of different spectrums because you have the do-it-yourselfer, an enthusiast. Guy has his Corvette like behind me, wants to wash it, wax it on the weekend. That includes the detailing industry. People that detail cars like the Corvette for money. That also include body shops. And dealerships. Okay.
Exactly.
So dealerships have detail shops there. They have new car get ready departments where the cars get unloaded.
Used cars.
Used cars they got to make look good so they can sell them after trade-in. So you cater to everything. Now, usually when I think about a car care line, I usually think my brain goes like this. I think we start with the car wash, okay, to get the car clean. And how about things for like a real popular product nowadays are iron removers? You have iron removers?
Of course we do, yes.
That's chemical decontamination.
Yes.
Okay. And you're the head chemist for all this stuff. And
yes.
A car wash is a rather simple product, but you know how to make one better, don't you?
Well, it is not actually, people underestimate car care products. Do you know that they're actually the highest quality cleaning products among all the cleaning products? Let me put it this way.
Okay.
For example, dishwashing liquid.
Sure.
That's the cheapest soap ever out there, and it's never good. And I'll give you a reason why it's never good. Because I'm sure you did, put a little bit dishwashing liquid in your hand and then try to rinse that off. It's slimy, it's gonna take tons of water to get rid of it, right?
Yeah.
So a dishwashing, why they don't know to make better? Of course they do, but they don't want to use the best ingredients because they sell tons of dishwashing liquid around the world. And plus you put the plates into a dishwasher or in a little sink and you spend a lot of water and hot water.
Yeah.
But in a car, you don't have that time. Especially in a car wash, the car travels on a chain. You have only 30, 40 seconds.
From station to station.
Yeah, from station to station. So that soap has to be rinsed well. It has to have a great rinsability, cleanability, foamability for the show. So when you take our, for example, pink car soap, you can do this test. You can put it in your hand. It's a great, actually, hand wash. You just do it and it will squeak. So you use less water to rinse it off.
Gotcha.
Because you don't want it to leave too much residue on the car.
Yeah, no.
So that's why soap of car care products have to be in highest quality to give you a great result. Because you have, how many plates you have on a car? Imagine.
If you extrapolate out a dish plate, yeah.
You put all the
a lot of plates.
A lot of plates.
Yeah.
So you're washing all those lot of plates within few minutes.
Yes.
Within so much gallons without the hot water, and you are in limited time, and it comes out a great shiny product at the other end. Whereas in a dishwasher, it takes an hour or two.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
With all that hot water, multiple rinses, and then you have to put there certain other chemicals to make sure spotless. Then you have good clean, I
was always told that when you have a spotless product, what it's actually doing is creating a uniform film. instead of a spot. It's actually a film over the whole thing, so you don't see the spot.
Exactly.
But that's another discussion for another time.
Exactly.
Then from the car wash to the chemical decontamination, then compounds and polishes, and then you offer a traditional wax?
Yeah, because, we sell to a lot of countries around the world, 54 countries so far, and we have a lot of stores, and we have a lot of distributors. So there are certain people who like to have the traditional old-timer wax, so we have to have this in the line, and it's a seller for, I would say, mostly for the people who traditionally use paste wax.
Sure.
But the industry is moving towards more products like this, epoxy, because you still use a very little amount, and it does a lot, and it's Montan wax based, which has a higher temperature, melting temperature than Carnauba. And to be quite honest, that's easier to use.
Well, liquid's easier to apply by machine, too.
Yeah, because on orbital, you just put a little bit, and you can do the whole car in no time. So.
But I will say something about paste waxes. I still meet a lot of guys that, after working wherever they may work in the office or blue collar type work, Monday through Friday, when they get a chance to escape the rat race and go home on a Saturday, wash their car, and then just spend some time hand applying a wax, wiping it off. And it's usually their toy, not their daily driver. But it's it's not so much the aspect of waxing the car, it's just the aspect of not being at work.
Exactly.
Turning on some good tunes and having some fun with your beautiful car, and then after that, maybe taking it out.
I mean, apart from the doing this business as professionally, most of the people around the world, I see the same thing. People wash their own cars therapeutically. They don't do it because they want to save money.
Yeah.
It's actually the other way around. I never seen a person, they either like to wash their cars, detail, or they don't.
Exactly. There's extremes on both sides.
Both sides. Not because they want to save money. You could see a very rich guy still want to do his own car, or a very poor guy still want to do his own car, or go to the car wash.
Yeah.
So you are either one or the other.
That's a very good observation, and you are right. People that don't care about their cars, they'll run it through the car wash because it's going to scratch it up, and they don't care. But whether they're rich or poor, if they love their car, they want to do it themselves. There's satisfaction in knowing you did the job right, and there's satisfaction at just the finished piece of work, making sure that the things that were done to it, their towels are clean, the right procedure was done, but also the enjoyment of standing back and going, that looks good. I did that myself.
Yeah, exactly.
That kind of that aspect.
I mean, I have a little story on that. I had my neighbor in Los Angeles across from my house, and he used to wash his car. So when I had my car washes, I had in LA, I used to give him free car wash coupons,
Okay.
And I used to see him again washing his own car. I used to say, George, why you wash your car? I gave you why don't you take it to the car wash? You know what? I like it. I gave your coupon to my brother-in-law or whatever. So he still wanted to do himself. He says, I enjoy doing it.
Sure.
So that is very true around the world. It's not just unique to USA.
I actually cannot think of a single time I've let anybody wash my car. And I would never let anybody wash my wife's car. So that's something I take care of.
Yeah.
And I do simple things like before I put any kind of soap into the bucket, I rinse the bucket out, make sure it's clean.
That's a good smart move anyway.
Well, yeah, simple things. One thing I teach people all the time, it takes, you know this as well, but if you have a car that has swirls and scratches, it takes hours to buff the car out. So you wash it, you clay it, hours to buff it, then seal it somehow with the wax. But it only takes seconds to put scratches in because one dirt particle was in a bucket or on a towel.
Especially a wash mitt.
Wash mitts, yeah. So it's so important we're
that
clean.
That could be hidden all over the place,
So we got some cool products here, and your company, you make something for everybody. I'm just going to grab some of these. Maybe just kind of tell me some of the cool things. Here's the bug remover. What makes this unique?
I mean, there's some enzymes. Bugs are usually, of course, they're organic dirt on the car, and that can, if you leave it too long on the car, it could edge the paint.
Yeah.
So this is very popular, especially I would say that in hot areas, when there's a lot of bugs, and when people travel few hundred miles, they come back home and
it happens here, love bug season, and it is horrific The whole front of a car will be plastered with bugs.
Right.
And a lot of people don't know, if they don't get those bugs off, that the acids in the bug guts are going to etch into the clear coat, and they think they can wash it off. And you can wash the bug off, but the damage just remains. And then they go to a body shop and find out even a cheap repaint on a hood is $300.
Exactly.
And all they had to do is get the stuff off and avoid the whole problem in the first place. So that's what this does then.
Yes. Now, you can, of course, get rid of the bugs in any other chemical, like you can use a degreaser or a soap. Like you said, it takes more time. This one is, because of the chemistry inside the enzymes, it loosens it attacks the organic.
Okay, it dissolves it?
Dissolves it, and it loosens it, and it's also not gonna, you don't wanna put on your car too much degreaser on the paint, even you dilute it.
Yeah.
So that's why we came up with this product. It's a great seller, and especially in the summertime, it's a great seller. Not so much in the winter time, but some parts of the country is hot still. There's bugs, and.
So it's more than just water in a bottle that's pretty orange. There's actually an enzyme in there, and that's the magic to the chemistry.
Yes.
Okay. What else do I got here?
That's the BDX. Yeah, that's iron remover, rust remover.
Real popular products. It's a new category over the last few years.
It has only one negative to it. It smells bad,
It does. It smells like a perm.
Yeah, it does. But on the other hand, hey, safety. I mean, you can put your hand in it.
With yours? With all of them or yours?
No, mine.
Yours.
I don't know the other ones. You can put your hand, and it's although it's a low pH, it won't burn your hand.
Got you.
And it will, even on the surface of the car, before you clay the car, of course you can get all these metal particles off the paint, easily with the clay and lubricant.
Yes.
But do you want to do too much of that, or you rather loosen the iron before you do that?
Yeah.
So, because as you know, on the street, there's a lot of metal particles because of the brake dust and stuff like that. They fly and sit on your paint.
Yep.
And actually, we have a video on that, but I'm sure you can agree with me on that.
Well, I explain
it on the.
Yeah, I explain it to people all the time, and this is this. I lived in Irvine, California at one time. So high concentration of people, high concentration of cars, high concentration of traffic, and traffic pollution. And when you're in a major city with a lot of freeways and everybody's hitting their brakes, you have calipers and you have brake rotors. And you have metal-to-metal contact that creates a dust that flies up, lands on your car. Now, it'd be one thing if you had a brand new car and you drove it one day, but when you do it 5 days a week, 6 days a week, year round, this stuff accumulates onto the car, it gets in the air, it settles on your car at nighttime, it mixes with the dew in the air, becomes a film, and it actually bonds to the paint.
And it rusts.
And it rusts. Now, we have another type of contamination here in Florida, and I'm sure other states do too, and that's dissolved iron in the water. And you can see it when you drive around Stewart, you look at someone's building or say a sign out in front of a building, and the bottom part of the posts or the walls or the building look like they're rusting. That's the sprinklers going off, and the rust, the iron that's dissolved in the water, landing on it, building up on it, and it happens to cars too. I've seen cars where we had a car down here where an elderly lady parked her car in her driveway. The sprinkler went off on one side of it, and we brought it down here, sprayed it down with an iron remover, and the whole thing just turned red from the iron in the water.
Exactly.
So you have brake dust, you have industrial pollution, and you have natural iron, and it's not natural, but it's in the water anyway. So there's all forms of ways that your cars get contaminated. And of course you can wash the car and clay it, but instead of rubbing those iron contaminants against the paint, dissolve it chemically, then go to the claying step.
Exactly.
And so it's kind of people always say this, work smarter instead of harder, but then they forget to show you how. You just showed us how. Chemically dissolve the contaminants off the paint.
And also, we don't use at all hydrofluoric acid, because that's straight nasty stuff for your health and carcinogen. And we don't even use ammonium bifluoride, although it's not hydrofluoric acid, but it's still, when you make the formula, it precipitates some hydrofluoric acid in it.
Okay.
So it's still not very safe. So this product The only downfall is the smell, but on the other hand, it works.
And this is what's so cool about making a video with not only the owner, but a chemist. He can explain this stuff. So not only do we know what it does, we know why it does it. And that makes that connection in our brain to know what to use and when to use it.
Right.
Let's see what else we got here, because I'm just metal polish. You know, there's a million metal polishes on the market. What makes this any different?
Okay, so it's, first of all, there is things that separates, you know, as you see in the bottle, the top is clear. Now, it takes me a second to make this into a cream, because a lot of pre-product, but it doesn't work when it's into a cream. Sometimes things are magic, you know, we don't know the reason, but this product, when you shake it, it works very little, and it works on soft metal as well.
Okay, so it won't scratch. It'll polish without scratching, because soft metal, that's one of the problems with a lot of polishes. The abrasives they use will remove the tarnish or the oxidation, but then they leave marring or scratching behind.
Exactly. So now, I have tried this even on gold.
Okay.
Gold is very soft metal.
Very soft, yes.
So it makes it look like it's brand new. And that is why it's great on diamond plates. And because it's very liquidy, you can buff it and nothing will get into the grooves and get stuck there.
Oh, okay.
So
that's a hassle with a cream or a paste.
Yeah, it's easy to wipe it off.
I'm sorry to say, I've buffed a whole lot of diamond plate in my life.
Yeah.
And the buffing part's easy. It's the wiping off around the diamond, not an imprint, it's an outprint.
Outprint, yeah. So that's another good reason. So, of course, you know, I don't want to keep repeating myself, but it's environmental safe, VOC compliant, and all the other good stuff.
It's all good features, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, another product there. Let me see. Let me walk over to this side. There's glass cleaner. Again, there's a zillion glass cleaners on the market.
Right.
What would make yours stand out among them?
First of all, you know, in glass cleaners, some companies, I don't know if they use it still, but they use EB, glycol ether EB, and some use ammonia.
I can't even say that word.
Glycol ether EB is actually banned, Prop 65. It's in California, you can't even put it. 0.4% is the maximum you can put on degreasers. But this kind of stuff, first of all, you have no harsh chemicals. That's one. It works great because in glass cleaner, if people are smoking the car, there's going to be a film there.
Smoker's film.
And apart from that, if they leave their window open, there's oil in the car because of the exhaust.
Outgassing, yes.
Yeah. And so
we call that vinyl fog.
Exactly.
So outgassing leads to vinyl fog. Smokers have smoker's film. And people don't think about this, but you see this film that actually builds up on the glass. It's actually on everything, but you only see it on the glass. And then getting that off is the tricky part because it's oily.
Right.
So
I'm going to go back to the safety and health part of it because you said why is yours different.
Yes.
Now, whenever I make any products, I always think the professional first, consumer second. Let me tell you why. I'm not being mean to the consumers. Actually, I'm being good to the consumers. Because the professionals are the ones using day in and day out all day long.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Health
so imagine
hazards.
the guy is inside the car, spraying this, walking from one car to another, breathing that 30, 40 hours a week. Versus one person doing every other month, you know.
Once in a while.
Yeah, but we had to make it safe enough for the heavy user. That's number one.
So if it's safe enough for the heavy user, it's safe enough for the casual user.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
That's
a good way of thinking.
Yeah. So that's the other advantage of this glass cleaner. And it, you know, there is very little alcohol in it, you know. But we don't have ammonia. People don't like ammonia scent, you know, smell. And the other surfactants are very minimal, so they don't leave any residue behind. Overall, it's a good product. We have to have a complete line.
Complete line.
That's another reason.
Yep.
I mean,
well, that's where I like to share that term, synergistic chemical compatibility. You make a complete line, something for everything, and because you're the head chemist and your team of staff, you develop these things so everything works together and it's something for everybody. You know, We could go all day long, Tunch, about all your great products. But the most important thing I always tell people is when they're looking for a car care product, trust the brand. You know, 3D is a brand you can trust. The products are going to perform as advertised, and as you keep pointing out, not only environmentally safe, but they're safe for you and me to use on a consistent basis, and that means they're safe for people that are just the enthusiasts working on their own cars on the weekend. To get any of these products, go to Autogeek.com, and for more how-to videos like these, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Well, that's just, you know, we could have done this all day long, but I think
I want to say something very important about the air fresheners.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so a lot of people don't think much about air fresheners. The health situation on this one, you see the Prop 65 compliance here.
Yes.
This is the most important product out of everything you see here to have the air freshener at least to be 100% safe. You know why?
Because you're breathing it.
Because you're breathing it, okay? You may breathe a compound
a little bit, yeah,
but you're gonna breathe this all day.
Yeah.
You wanna breathe it.
Yeah.
You wanna put your nose in and you wanna breathe it.
Yeah.
So when you breathe it, it's actually a wolf under a sheep's skin, you know, if you have a bad chemistry in there. Because you're breathing a beautiful strawberry scent, jasmine scent,
really bad
but it's
for you.
bad for your health. So you got to be very careful that the product has to be Prop 65, especially on the air freshener.
So there you go. One more great product from 3D. Their fragrances, their air scents.
Yes.
Good job. Glad you fitted that in there. Now I'm gonna have to get one of these that are really nice for my wife and her car. She loves a good scent, but I don't.